This is the Troll Patrol, live with Justin Freakin.
I'm just screwing everything up tonight. I'm screwing everything up. No, I screwed up the YouTube feed. That's why I had to go back and fix it. It is not my internet. My internet is just fine. Thank you very much. Welcome to the Troll Patrol Live. It's a freaking Sunday, and we're on time. We're on time. Toads, Chainsaw, PB Girl, Simp, Warlord. Good to see all of you. It's a chud in sunglasses. Well, the sun shines directly in my window right here. So I've had to start wearing sunglasses at the beginning of the show, and it's actually just went away. Just went away like as the countdown was going on. Thank you. I love this bandana too. Curiouser actually got this for me. So here's the thing. We've got a really big week. We got a big week going on. On Wednesday, during the day, we're going to be doing the arraignment of Donald Trump. I've called it the fourth arraignment of the Trump-pocalypse. I have it set for 10 o'clock a.m. on YouTube. I don't know exactly when we'll start. We don't have any indication when Trump will actually be handing himself over to Georgia authorities. So as we get closer, I may change that. We may come on at noon. We may come on at 2. Who knows? We'll try to come on an hour or two before he's supposed to be arraigned. We should be getting a mugshots. We should be getting a mugshot. Okay, here's the thing, is I like sunglasses. I think I look good in sunglasses. But I have really expressive eyes. I have really pretty eyes. My eyes are probably my best feature. So, while I like wearing sunglasses, I realize that I should not wear sunglasses because I got pretty eyes. And the blue that I use for the Troll Patrol really brings out the color in my eyes. I've got one of those eye colors that change depending on the color shirt I'm wearing. So the purplish blue really brings out my eyes, makes them pop. I got pretty eyes, Warlord. I got pretty eyes. Probably my best feature. PP Girl also got some pretty eyes. I told you about me asking Sparkles if she was PP Girl, right? And she was like, did a 10-year-old ask if I was, or did a 10-year-old say I was? I cracked up. Yeah, I even fucked up her joke. Goddamn. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I pussy indeed. Here's your meme of the day, Sandra Bullock, starring in The Blind Side 2. We got a sports-heavy show tonight, actually. We got several sports stories we're going to be doing. One of the things that I'm really looking forward to on tonight's show, because we've got such a big week, tonight is all bullshit. We're not doing hard news tonight. Slightly. We got a few stories. We're gonna have to talk about like a hurricane going on. But mainly, we're gonna do bullshit tonight, and we're doing that in. Don't get me wrong. It was just another day in mass shooting USA. We just aren't going to talk about it. We're doing bullshit tonight just because we've got so much shit going on this week. So the Trump arraignment on Wednesday, I don't exactly know what time it is going to be going on, but we will be covering it live. We'll see his motorcade arrive at the courthouse, and we will get a mug shot in the afternoon. This gentleman right here, Sheriff Labatt, has promised us he will not do anything any different because it's Donald Trump. Warlord trying hard to get me to cover some kind of real news tonight. No, we're doing bullshit. Not handling Trump any different than he would any other inmate. So we are getting a mugshot. He is getting fingerprinted. That will happen on Wednesday. Then Wednesday night, we're going to have the Fox News debate and the Tucker Carlson interview with Donald Trump. As of right now, I am leaning towards we're not going to be on YouTube. I think Fox will not copyright claim me after it's live. But I have a feeling, because they're desperate for views, like they're very pissed off that Trump is not going to be debating. So they're going to be desperate for views. I would say they don't want streamers watching it and cutting down on their view count. So I'd almost bet money I would get copyright claimed on YouTube should I try to carry the debate. So we will be Kick and D Live only for the debate. And I'll turn on YouTube when we come back for Tucker Carlson. We're doing the debate live. And then we're doing Tucker Carlson's interview with Donald Trump directly after the debate. So, unless I change my mind and I have any other indication, because if you guys remember back to the, what was it CNN did? Was it a Trump town hall that they did? And Hassan, Vosh, everybody got a copyright claim on them. I didn't, because I was only on Kick. I was on Kick and D Live that night, so I didn't get a copyright claim. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, you bring up smoke, I'm going to go ahead. I'm not high enough for this shit, of course. I'm out. I'm hopefully going to get to go on... I'm out of bud. I'm hopefully going to get to go on Tuesday or Wednesday, probably. As you guys know, I always keep my half-smoked bowls and my resin and shit. And because I've been smoking dabs so much, I'm fucking blistered. Like, it's not like I've not been high. Because, there's a lot of dab in the resin from my bong, so this shit is awesome. Marijuana concentrate. As I was getting ready for the show tonight, I was in a Run the Jewels kind of mood. I love Run the Jewels, one of my favorite bands. I was listening to the song Just, Pharrell Williams and Zach De La Roche from Rage Against the Machine, and I noticed something. The lyrics to Just by Run the Jewels have a lot in common with the lyrics from a certain country song that the right has been going nuts over. Business time, I'm on mine, I be minding mine, make money. Every time on my grind, I'm just trying to shine. Make $1, government, they want 12 dimes. I believe that was a theme from the Fudge Round song, right? Where's the... There's a part about pedophiles running the country. There's rich politicians. Like this song's got all of the same shit that country song had. However, it's got a chorus. Look at all these slave masters posing on your dollar. Here we go. And your country getting rammed by a casino owner, pedophiles sponsor all these fucking racist bastards, and I told you once before that you should kill your master? I wonder why this song didn't do gangbusters among right-wingers. It's the same message, right? I'm sorry, Libertad. My apologies. I encourage you to go check out Just by Run the Jewels. I didn't do it justice. Killer, it sounds a lot better coming out of Killer Mike and LP's mouths than mine. Concerning. Fucking Elon Musk wanting to get rid of the block feature. I'm all for it. I'm probably like Matt Walsh said he was one of the most blocked people on Twitter. I beg to differ. I think I might be one of the most blocked people on Twitter.
JustinFREAKIN is a formidable voice in the culture.
Let me free. I don't think I have anybody blocked. Go ahead. Take it away, Elon. Hundreds, if not thousands of people have me blocked. Oh, shit. Are you ready to get started tonight? We got bullshit. Let's get to the bullshit. We are going to start off tonight talking about Hurricane Hillary. I guess it's now a tropical storm, isn't it? My apologies. So, well, Hurricane Hillary sounds better. I like the alliteration. So, Hurricane Hillary, guys.
All over the country right now, people are wondering what Hillary Rodham Clinton is thinking watching things unfold in Georgia. She's the former Democratic presidential nominee, U.S. Senator from New York and Secretary of State. I should tell you, she has a new essay out.
I promised this last week, and we never got to watch it.
In our democracy, it's called The Weaponization of
Jesus Christ, and it, too, is a fucking book plug.
Loneliness. Madam Secretary, fancy meeting you here.
I
It's really
can't
nice having you
believe
here.
this.
Yeah, this is not the circumstances in which I expected to be talking to you.
Nor me, Rachel. It's always good to talk to you, but honestly, I didn't think that it would be under these circumstances. Yet another set of indictments.
Now, once again, this was it Monday night? Monday night of last week, we were just doing the news. We were finding out what that news be doing like usual. And we did a story about, the pending indictment in Georgia. And I just happened to see on the local news station that we were reading the story off of, they were live. So I clicked on it and boom, that's like right when they told us that the grand jury was voting. And that also is about the time that Rachel Maddow was on her show.
This is something, this is becoming like a skill set. Like in the news business, you say like, oh, I've covered Olympics or I've covered a campaign. Now it's, those of us who've covered 4 indictments.
Meat cakes, good evening.
We don't know if Donald Trump is among those indicted this evening, but all expectations are that he will be.
Spoiler alert, he was.
Do you feel satisfaction in that? You warned the country essentially that he was going to try to end democracy, but most of the country didn't believe you.
Well, it's hard to believe. I don't feel any satisfaction. I feel great, just great, profound sadness that we have a former president.
You don't look sad.
Who has been indicted for so many charges that went right to the heart of whether or not our democracy would survive. And we don't know yet what the charges coming out of Georgia are, but if you stop and think about what the public evidence is, and you've been talking about some of that for the last hour, he set out to defraud the United States.
I'm sorry, D's nuts.
The citizens of our nation.
Mainly just because I thought it was funny. Y'all thought I was gonna be talking about the actual tropical storm, didn't you?
He used tactics of harassment, intimidation. He made threats. He and his allies went after state officials, local officials.
I'm a little stinker.
For conducting elections. Now we know they even went into voting machines in order to, determine whether or not those voting machines had somehow been breached when they were the ones actually doing the breaching. So there is a great deal already in the public record. We'll wait to see what the indictments themselves say, because clearly this investigation has been very thorough. But I don't know that anybody should be satisfied. This is a terrible moment for our country to have a former president accused of these terribly important crimes. The only satisfaction may be that the system is working, that all of the efforts by Donald Trump, his allies, and his enablers to try to silence the truth, to try to undermine democracy, have been brought into the light, and justice is being pursued.
I didn't make you watch the whole thing though. I just wanted to see her reaction to Donald Trump, and really, it wasn't very fun. I was hoping for more. Now to talk about the Hillary that we actually care about, the one that is currently wreaking havoc on the country, not the one that was wreaking havoc on the country, about 10 years ago.
Local officials take seriously debris flows and floods, flash floods, lightning, possibility of tornadoes. Stay safe.
Now at 9, California on alert. The last-minute preparations underway as more than 42 million people are waking up under a tropical storm warning. This morning, we are tracking Tropical Storm Hillary as it barrels toward California.
Probably should have. Hold on. We probably should have got us something that's it was a lot newer when I put it on the list. You got a newer report on it? No, they don't. Jesus. So, making landfall in the Baja Peninsula earlier this morning. Let's go live. We'll go live, see what's going on. Rain and an earthquake, That's the wildest thing. We don't have audio here. This is video out of San Bernardino County. This is apparently live right now. You can see flash flooding in the streets, but we don't have any audio. This is just straight video. I was not aware that this is apparently the first tropical storm to hit California in almost a century. Landslides are usually a more like a Northern California thing, aren't they? When they get heavy rain. We can't hear you, dude. I appreciate the live look, but we don't really have sound on the reporting. Let's go to ABC 7.
County officials have reported that there's no immediate serious damage, but of course some stores have seen things flying off the shelves. We're right outside of West Ridge Market here in Ojai. You can see behind me it is open now, but they did have to shut down for about 2 hours to clean up the mess. Things had flown off the shelves.
I talked to producer Dave just a little bit ago. Now he's further up north.
Run to the grocery store during
he's in the central part of California.
That we had sent into our station. This is some video from a nanny cam.
This is the earthquake. Damn.
That bed shaking. The dog is clearly on high alert from that earthquake, and there's 2 twins sleeping in that bed. The parents come in to grab them.
Yeah, I asked him, and he said it was just a little cloudy.
Okay. And then some other video that we want to show you is from Santa Paula. There was some damage, in stores there.
But I did think the storm was supposed to go all the way up the coast.
At West Ridge. One of these stores is a beauty store, some cosmetics.
Looking at the little inset, it looks like it might be going a little more inland.
Another store owned by the same owner of West Ridge Market, which is just across the street from where we are. That store will be shut.
Oh no, it seems like it's going straight up through California.
Flew off the shelves, and there's a lot of cleanup, and we'll continue, of course, to update you as we learn more and find out more about what has happened here due to that earthquake. Of course, the rain is also coming down. It's a hard day in Ojai today, but again, we will continue to update you as we learn more. Live in Ojai, Sophie Flay, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Okay, Sophie, thank you. And we continue to track Tropical Storm Hillary. Many areas have been seeing a rain and flooding.
The heaviest rains are making their way into our area right now. Eyewitness News reporter Leanne Suter continues our live breaking news storm coverage live from Long Beach. Leanne.
Jory and Giovanna, the rain has been pretty steady for most of the day, but luckily it has been relatively light here in Long Beach.
That's what I'm thinking. Like
what officials have been hoping.
It looks like it is not going to be as bad as it could have been. So we'll get an assessment of exactly what happened with the hurricane, the tropical storm, in the coming days. Hopefully, no one perishes and everybody prepared You saw the video of the cam with the dog that was on high alert. An earthquake hit Southern California amid Tropical Storm Hillary. 5.1 magnitude. The initial quake hit the Ojai region around 2:41 p.m. A series of aftershocks then affected Los Angeles, Santa Barbara, and Ventura counties, with the largest shocks measuring in the 3.0 magnitude range. The Ojai region hasn't seen an earthquake of 5 magnitude or above since 1932. Almost a century for it. Wow. God damn. Several residents of the affected areas received emergency phone notifications in the aftermath of the seismic activity that read earthquake detected, drop cover, hold on, protect yourself. No notable damage has yet been reported as a result of the quake. God damn, lucky. Yeah, that's not a baby earthquake. So far it looks like the best scenario you could hope for. Given what we have gone through with weather events here in the United States over the past year, fuck, thank goodness. Speaking of weird weather events, I'm going to take you to Tampa, where they had a weird-ass cloud. I think this was on Friday morning.
I got these incredible images of clouds in our area. A viewer sent them to us. Thank you, Alan. Alan Weber from Parrish said he saw this morning, and man, look at that right there. You know, you can always send the weather that you're seeing through our free 10 Tampa Bay app. There's a Near Me section where you can upload, or you can actually take photos and send those in. So Bobby Deskins is here. Bobby, these are called roll clouds. What is that?
Roll clouds, or, you know, a lot of folks know them as shelf clouds. This is different. There's a shelf cloud, there's a roll cloud. They're both types of what we call Arcus clouds, A-R-C-U-S. But what's happening when you have a storm out here, right? There's some air going up in the storm, making it grow, but there's also air coming down that rain shaft, cooler air coming in. It spreads out ahead of it, and as it does, it kind of spins up, and it cools the moisture in the air out ahead of it and causes clouds. A lot of times we see them as shelf clouds dropping out. That's actually moisture in that roll cloud that came along the ground and then kind of started to spin a little bit and cooled the humidity in the air. Condensation occurs and it made clouds. Really cool pictures.
It was.
My social medias too. Bobby Deskins Weather. You can always send that stuff to me there and on Twitter as well.
A lot going on in the tropics.
Also, almost all of the weathermen, because I've worked in broadcasting for many years, almost all of the weathermen I have met have been batshit crazy Republicans. I don't understand it. Almost all of them. I had one. She was slightly younger than me, at Way 31, and she confided in me in secret, like, my politics are closer to yours. Madison Star Moon, my girlfriend. You know, it's funny you should bring up conspiracy theories. Remember we talked about that Royce White dude last week? He made those absurd comments about Fonnie Willis in Atlanta that indicted Donald Trump. Apparently this guy, like, I keep getting stories about this dumbass now. Royce White urges Maui investigation into energy weapon, and he demands answers, apparently. Former NBA star, I didn't know he was a star, Royce White, who played 3 regular season games with the Sacramento Kings and Houston Rockets before heading into politics, has shared conspiracy theories regarding the fires on the Hawaii island of Maui. He wrote, who is Guy Gaswin? I don't even fucking know what that is. The other side of his head said something about a DEW. I just saw the writing. I didn't see that it wasn't the... So he had this shit on the side of his head. That's the Newsweek picture. Well, shit. I can't get a good shot of it. Well, he had DEW on the side of his head. That's what all those videos are about. Apparently, he is a fucking idiot.
Feel terrible for the people there in Maui. But it's a sign of things to come. And when I say investigate Maui, I say it because regardless of what took place, we, the people, should always demand answers. We should always demand answers of the people in power in this country. Those are our people. Those are American citizens. I don't care how many miles they are off the coast.
Well, my friend, we do have things to demand of the government. The not airing the warning sirens, our dilapidated infrastructure that probably led to the fire, the power company not cutting the power and exacerbating the fire. Those are all real issues that we do indeed need answers for. However, we know how the fire started. We watched the video here on this show. It was a downed power line. We saw the explosion. We saw it get out of hand. I didn't know who he was until 3 or 4 days ago.
Those are American citizens, and we should demand answers, real, transparent, and truthful answers about what took place there. There should be a full investigation into what took place there in Maui.
He thinks it was a laser beam, and we debunked that last week.
Out there, a lot of theories about a directed energy weapon or something of that nature. Something very military, something very scientific or technologically advanced that took place there.
Maybe it was aliens.
And I want to talk about that today for a little bit. Again, my prayers and thoughts are with the people of Maui.
Oh, his prayers.
We demand that answers be, that questions be asked, that an investigation takes place, that answers can be given to the American people and the people of Maui about what took place.
They will be, but you won't give a shit.
All many of us can do is speculate, and it's all right to speculate. It's all right to use the knowledge that we have formally, historically, culturally, politically, economically, to speculate about the nature of what took place there in Maui. And even maybe even more importantly, or even more reasonably, it's important for us to speculate. It's important for us to speculate. We should speculate. Okay.
Speculate is one thing, but to get out here and just spread bullshit.
I said it yesterday. Many people don't even know that direct energy weapons exist. They don't even know that direct energy weapons are up and running, up and functional. And what's really scary is we think of advanced technology and weapons as a property or as a product that is exclusive to the federal government, the scope of the federal government, and this sort of security.
I don't know enough about it. Or direct energy weapons an actual thing? I don't think they are. I don't think there's a laser beam like from like the Independence Day movie that destroyed the White House. I don't think that's a thing. I mean, I know we have freaking laser beams.
Security state of the American government and the American military. Not true. Not the case. The private sector and private sector companies that are merchants of the military industrial complex have these types of weapon systems. They have these types of advanced weapons and technology. So
let's nationalize them.
Make them and sell them to the American government, or they're used by the American government. They are tested within the jurisdiction of these private corporations.
I mean, we can engrave shit with lasers. We can do laser eye surgery and shit. But I mean, I don't know what kind of technology is out there, but I've never heard of any weapon like that. I've never heard there's no lightsabers. There's no the fucking energy guns from Fallout.
Lockheed Martin, Boeing, Raytheon.
Cool. Let's get rid of them. Let's get rid of them. We're on the same page on that.
They're running experiments right now all across the country.
Cool.
All across the country, they're running experiments all around the world. And they'll tell you that they're doing it for our security. They'll tell you that we have enemies out there, which we do, that justify the need for this type of research, this type of technological advancement. And it's been that way since the end of World War II. Fascism will break out. White supremacy will break out. Racism will break out. Tyranny and authoritarianism is on the loose. And we have to continuously fund and build these advanced technologies and weapon systems in order to hold off the evil of the world. Okay, fine. I get it. Fine. And secrecy, what? Gives you tactical advantage? Okay, but at what point do the American people say, we feel secure enough? I mean, again, it goes back to what I said. When you give up...
Well, you guys are pussies, so never.
Citizens, some resemblance of security and materialism.
That's an insult to pussies, really.
They will give away their rights. And in return, they will not be secure or have freedom. I mean, that's the biggest three-card Monty in our nation's history. That we got into these wars and we let wars, or the outcome or result of wars and our fear, abnegate our rights and our citizenship in pursuit of security and materialism. Three-card Monty. Raytheon, Boeing, Lockheed Martin, all these major military industrial contractors.
Exactly, clinically.
Manufacturers. All of them have...
And they're tasty.
All of them are testing weapons. Who knows when? Who knows where? Who knows who's overseeing it? Where's the...
Can we agree on that? Should we what's it called when you disintegrate a corporation? When you that has a word. Can we do that to those companies? I'm down with it. Like you're close to the point. I'm with you. Dissolve. Yes, let's dissolve their corporate charter. I'm all for it. I had an argument with a libertarian the other day, and it was about that stupid ass rich men north of Richmond song. And he was like, well, all these rich politicians are fucking us over and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, yeah, the capitalistic incentive. Can we agree that we get away from the capitalistic incentive? Maybe we do some UBI. We tax billionaires. He's like, no, you can't tax billionaires. And I'm like, what? If you do an UBI, that would drive up inflation. You can't tax billionaires. If you taxed all the billionaires, you still wouldn't. You could tax billionaires out of existence, and you still wouldn't match the federal budget. I'm like, dude, you realize you don't actually want to do anything about the rich men north of Richmond, as you call it. You're not, and I got that a lot in the comments. Go look at the comments on that YouTube video. People saying that I was being divisive, that the song was supposed to unify the country. Like, the word unity and divisiveness comes up multiple times in the comment section of my video about that song. Them attacking an actual working class Appalachian on behalf of an astroturfed, I don't even know. His name isn't Oliver, it's Chris. I've heard conflicting reports about whether he's a factory worker or he's a farmer. I've heard conflicting reports about whether he's rich or he's a poor man living in a trailer. Or if he's living in a trailer on a 90-acre farm somewhere. So I don't know. They say, in theory, that they want to do something about the problem. Royce White here says Raytheon, Boeing, Lockheed Martin are a problem, but he isn't going to want to join with me to dissolve their corporate charter, to nationalize any kind of weapons manufacture. So what's the point? There was a really good post, and I wish I'd saved it. And it said something about, they have to believe in these conspiracy theories so that they don't have to address the real problems. And it's true. It's true. But we're talking about technology. We're talking about crazy conspiracy theories. Here's what I know. It's not a crazy conspiracy theory that apparently Russia crashed a rocket into the moon.
Right, I want to bring you some breaking news from Russia now. Well, from space, really. But Russia's Luna 25 spacecraft has apparently crashed into the moon after it spun into an uncontrolled orbit. Now, this is according to Russia's space agency. A little earlier, it reported an abnormal situation.
Russia penetrated the moon.
When it was preparing a
You live in
pre-landing
sexual
orbit.
anarchy?
Now, Luna 25 was scheduled to land on the south pole of the moon tomorrow. That was the plan. It seems like that is no longer the plan. Let's go live to the newsroom. BBC's Europe regional editor Paul Moss is there. Hi, Paul. So just
seems like it's no longer the plan.
Well, I think, first of all, it's important to understand what this mission was hoping to achieve. As you said, the idea of the Luna 25 mission was to land a spacecraft on the south side, the south pole of the moon, and this would have been the first time it had happened. This was important for two reasons. First of all, scientifically, it was very interesting. What the Russians were hoping to do is detect ice or water itself on the moon, which would be very important if there was ever to be a permanent moon base. However, this project was also all about prestige, and I think this is why this latest development is so important.
There is a dude on Twitter that hates the moon and advocates for nuking the moon. I wonder if he's really happy about this. That dude really hates the fucking moon.
Russia launched this space mission in the midst of sanctions and acknowledged it couldn't get some of the technical parts it would normally need for a space mission. They went ahead anyway, and at the time of the launch, there were critics who said, well, they really thought it only had a 50-50 chance of success. Now, if Russia successfully landed this spacecraft on the south pole of the moon, it would be able to say, look, you sanction us, and still we're able to manage this extraordinary technical achievement. Instead, it appears that the lunar spacecraft has crashed. That's what TASS, the Russian news agency, is saying. And so that, I do think, is not going to do anything for Russia's sense of prestige at the moment. We don't know exactly.
Yeah, hurt their pride.
It certainly was very close to the moon when things were going right. Only on Saturday, the Russian space agency was showing off about the success of the mission. It showed some photographs that the spacecraft had taken of a crater on the moon. It was crowing about how already it had been able to analyze some of the chemistry of the lunar surface. And then a few hours later,
Russia says there are Nazis on the moon, so they're going to the moon to denazify it. And they're going to end up annexing some territory.
We were told that just as they were trying to shift the spacecraft into what's called a pre-landing orbit, there was some kind of communication problem. And the latest we've heard, the announcement from Rosnosov, the Russian space agency,
DJ Dub.
They said, as a result of a collision with the surface of the moon, the spacecraft no longer exists.
That's pretty final and fundamental, I guess. But it's not the only country.
Oh my God, I love this BBC anchor. He thank you, Captain Obvious, on everything.
With a kind of rocket on its way to the moon's south pole, is it, Paul?
This is the most extraordinary thing about this mission, and indeed the development we've just heard about. At the same time,
clinically's right.
Exactly the same feat, landing a spacecraft for the first time on the south pole of the moon. Their Chandrayaan-3 spacecraft actually took off before the Russian one did, after the Russian one did, and it was expected to land on Wednesday. Now, there was clearly a race going on, and it now looks like the Indians have far more chance of winning that race. I should say, though, that India's space agency tried this mission before, and their rocket crashed on that occasion, which shows that this isn't an easy mission to achieve. But it is also noteworthy that the original space race was the United States versus the Soviet Union. This time it's been Russia versus India. And I cannot...
What the fuck are we doing?
Important space is for Russia's sense of prestige. I would argue even more than it was for the United States during the great space race to the moon, the original space race of the 1960s. I happened to be in Moscow when the space agency announced that they were going to allow the...
Oh, no, we're not doing nothing. Elon's getting ready to launch some advertising up in the sky. Seriously, when advertisements appear in the sky, like, I become an eco-terrorist.
Mere spaceship to crash to Earth. And there was a furious demonstration outside the agency building in Moscow. I had a woman screaming in my ear, if we allow our space station to go down, it is the end of Russia. She was speaking, I think, for many in terms of Russia's sense of its abilities, its prestige, the fact that Russia sent the first man into space, Yuri Gagarin, the fact that Russia, people often don't realize this, actually had the first spacecraft to land on the moon in 1959. And
we know this because we're educated.
Desperately hoping to sort of bring back to life that early sense of Russian achievement in space. And so today's news, I think, is a major blow, not just for the Russian Space Agency, but for Russia itself and indeed for President Vladimir Putin.
Okay, Paul, thank you so much for that.
I'm actually amazed, like, Russia didn't beat us, like, putting a man on the moon. Because, I'm amazed they didn't just fucking launch people up there until they got one. Because that's one of the things that you learn about the Soviets. They're just willing to send a bunch of people to die. It's one of the reasons why I don't... I'm iffy on nuclear power, because I feel like if there was to be a Chernobyl-type incident in the United States, we wouldn't send a bunch of people into the... If we did send people, we'd probably, pay young, dumb people to do it instead of, older citizens volunteering to do it because they love their country and shit. That was always, after watching Chernobyl, that was one of the things that really struck me. Is the U.S. would not do that. Would not send wave after wave of people to clean it up. And if they did, they would exploit really cheap young labor. Let's go. We're going to do just a little bit of crime. Just a little bit of crime. Hopefully these crimes are more on the us making fun of what's going on. A customer did not even drop his six-pack in order to take down a robber at a convenience store. Check him out. There's his sixer right there in his hand. Apparently his hand extended with his gun.
Newly released surveillance video showing a Cass County gas station customer firing 7 shots at a suspected armed robber, all while holding a 6-pack of light beer.
The shooting seriously injured the suspect, who had armed himself with a box cutter.
Now, the customer waiting to learn if he'll face criminal charges.
That's you probably should, dude. Guy had a box cutter. He's just, yeah. Especially if the guy dies, you should probably face some manslaughter charges.
Holding a 6-pack of light beer.
The shooting seriously.
But how bad? And also, man, you're lucky that the cops didn't come in there and fucking shoot you for being armed while black. Yeah, 7 shots is overkill. And the dude's got a box cutter. You're a big old guy, man. Go over there and fucking knock him out.
Injured the suspect who had armed himself with a box cutter.
Now, the customer waiting to learn if he'll face criminal charges. Target 8 investigator Ken Kolker has those details all new at 6.
He didn't drop his sixer.
Here's how the robber announced himself at the Stone Lake Marathon here in Cassopolis about 3 weeks ago. The video shows the customer holding a 6-pack of Miller Lite as the suspect, dressed in black, bursts in on July 27th. The suspect, identified as a 35-year-old Dowagiac man, pulls a mask over his face. Another angle shows the suspect approaching the store clerk. Police say he threatened the clerk with a box cutter. The customer, who has a valid concealed carry permit, told police he could not see what was in the robber's hand, but he could see the look of fear in the clerk's face. Video shows the customer pulling a handgun and firing.
That's fair enough. 7 times, though. That's a lot. Him acting on behalf of the clerk. This one's a tough one.
Firing 3 shots, then another 3, all while holding that 6-pack. It appears one of those shots hit a liquor bottle. He fired the final shot several seconds later. Bullets struck the robber in the arm, the back, and the face. The customer told police the suspect fell to the floor but was crawling toward him. He held him at gunpoint until police got there. Cass County Prosecutor Victor Fitz says he's waiting for police to finish the investigation before deciding whether to file criminal charges against the customer. Obviously, there's some people who would consider the shooter a hero.
Well, in Michigan, obviously, it's clear that we do have defense of others as part of the law in Michigan, that you can defend others if they're in a situation where there's dangerous force being used against them. And certainly in this case, we'll be looking at the facts in regard to that.
Target 8 reached out to the man who fired those shots, who lives about 4 blocks from the gas station, but he declined to comment. The victim of the robbery wouldn't go on camera, but said, quote, "He saved my life." The suspect was released from the hospital yesterday and arraigned here in Cass County on 3 charges, including armed robbery. Because he's a 3-time convicted felon, he could face up to life in prison. In Cassopolis, Ken Kolker, News 8.
That's sad all the way around. That's a tough one. That's a really tough one. Smarter than Trump. In the moment, they may not, neither of them may not have known it was a box cutter. Yeah, I'm tending to think maybe the first 3 shots are justified, and then the second set of shots, and then definitely the last one are all not justified. No. The robber was a convicted felon. The customer was legally armed. So that's wild story. But he didn't drop his beer. He shot the guy and didn't drop his beer. Didn't drop his beer. We're going to go down to Lee County, Florida. Where a cell phone video has prompted outrage. The cops are defending themselves. Hold on, I can't pull the tweet up here. So this is Lee County, Florida, where it is Deputy Carmine Marciano. I fucking hate the dude. He is one of the most grandstanding law enforcement officers I've ever met, and that's that's saying something. They spend more money on PR than they do anything else in Lee County, Florida. And apparently they arrested this woman for giving a flower girl $20.
I just tried to give her $20.
Ninja!
$20. Please send this to
Oh, clinically. That's a tough one.
me. My phone number is 813-77. I just tried to give her $20. I just tried to give this lady $20. Please send this to me.
So the community notes on Twitter says the lady stopped in traffic to pay $20 for flowers and then refused to get back into her vehicle when ordered to do so. A woman was arrested in Bonita Springs, Florida on Wednesday, August the 16th after she interfered with a panhandler incident. As per the Lee County Sheriff's Office, the woman, identified as Anika Olson, was driving along the Bonita Beach Road and Imperial Parkway. Now, on face value, nothing about this seems like it deserved an arrest. Olson stopped her car abruptly in the driving lane when she saw a deputy officer speaking to a woman who was selling flowers. Anika tried to hand some money to the flower vendor when the officer asked her to move along, but she refused to comply with the deputy's order. So the cops were harassing a woman that was selling flowers on the side of the road. She refused to comply with the deputy's order to park her car off the road, leading to the officer putting her in handcuffs. The other woman, Norma Garcia, was selling flowers on Imperial Parkway's median, which violated Lee County's ordinance, which prohibits vendors from executing their business on driveways. Officer, the arrest is far more of a offense than anything either of them were accused of doing. A short clip from the incident in Bonita Springs was uploaded on Reddit, where the user wrote that Anika was arrested for giving $20 to the lady selling flowers. Some people in the comments were furious at the police for arresting the woman for helping a vendor. One user mockingly wrote that someone on CTA duty must have been annoyed and bored. People on Reddit criticized the cops for directly arresting Anika Olson just because she tried to help a flower vendor. Several users implied that the police served the government, not the common people. It's not the government, they serve capital. They asked how and why helping those in need is illegal. As well they should. The police don't serve the government, they serve capital. Capital. A judge in Nevada has ruled that a man can keep his license plate. And I'm amazed that this even came to this. You know, I may not agree with the sentiment on the license plate. I may even mock a dumbass for having this license plate. But this is fucking America. He should get to keep his license plate. All it says is go back to CA. You're in Nevada, dude. I don't know exactly what the difference is. California. Go back to California. Oh, Canada. Exactly. This should have never been an issue. A Nevada license plate that was initially recalled after going viral is here to stay. In July, Adam Stillman's license plate saying go back to California was recalled by the state DMV after receiving a complaint. First of all, who the fuck complained? You're stupid. However, after a formal review, a DMV administrative judge determined the plate did not meet the criteria of words, phrases that were not allowed on license plate. Good. The dude didn't have to go to fucking court or something to get it overturned. It was just the DMV going, we'll review it. Okay, he can keep it. Good. No tax dollars were really wasted on this shit. Because, like, if they tried to take it back from him and he had to go fight in court to get it back, God, I would have been pissed off. Stillman has had the license plate for 2 decades. This isn't even like a Fox News new phenomenon. Dude just really hates California. I would assume his least favorite band on the planet is the Red Hot Chili Peppers. The DMV in Nevada says that it only takes one complaint for a license plate to be reviewed by their special license committee. The statute states that the following may not be put on a Nevada license plate: upside down numbers, more than 7 numbers, phrases of contempt, ridicule, or superiority of race, ethnic, heritage, or gender, phrases sexual in nature, derogatory, or obscene. That one upsets me. That should not be a thing. Find this ad through Craigslist. Oh!
You live in sexual
Man, my
anarchy.
dating life has not been the same since they did away with the Craigslist personals. Welcome, welcome. If you are new here, my name is JustinFREAKIN. We do the nightly news. Find out what that news be doing. If you want to know my political persuasion, I can summarize it like this: whatever political party allows me to piss in Dan Crenshaw's open eye hole. That's who I'm for. Give me that eye pussy, sir. Oh, and since you just wandered in here, yeah, content warning on that one. Usually we're doing a hardcore news rundown, but since we've got a really big week coming up with all the Donald Trump news and the debate on Wednesday night, we're doing all bullshit tonight. There's all bullshit stories. We're getting ready to watch a neo-Nazi challenge a Jewish UFC fighter, and I assure you, you want to stick around for that. Last week, Ninja, my friend, I'm so glad to see you again. For those of you who are unaware, I got banned on Twitch back in August for showing a body cam video of the shooting in Louisville. And ironically, it's one of the few times I've praised the cops. The cops did a good job with that one. Craigslist, more like Backpage. Backpage never worked for me. Craigslist was like, for about 10 years was my entire dating life. I've got some wild stories.
You live in sexual anarchy.
Last week we did a little segment of Dave Portnoy on Fox News. I had no clue who Dave Portnoy is. I thought he was like the drummer for Dream Theater or some shit. But apparently he's some chud that makes TikTok videos, YouTube videos and shit. And he does pizza reviews. Now, I like food. I love food reviews. So, since I've never seen him before, let's give him a go, guys. Let's hear from Dave Portnoy. He's reviewing a pizza joint in West Virginia.
All right, pizza review time. We're at Original DeCarlo's Famous Pizza, Wheeling, West Virginia. I said this the second time I said it. Mike, the security guard, is holding the iPhone. He fucked it up the whole time. I did a whole minute rant. I'm like, rough and rowdy, 22. Here we go. If you pay for it, it's going to my idiot employees. I did the whole rant, and he's like, no, not recording. So I'm doing this twice, which I don't like doing. Rough and rowdy tonight, Wheeling, West Virginia, okay? It's the first time Barcelona Independence, my company, your money goes to pay these idiots, including security Mike, who can't use a cell phone. Fine, no big deal.
I'm noticing a pattern. This is the second time I've watched this guy, and he seems to have a real disdain for workers. Is it just me, or is that coming across to you guys as well?
Also, 5-round championship fights tonight, and YouTube. If you don't want to buy it, buy rnr.com. You go there. You can either buy it through RNR or YouTube live chat. First time, YouTube's seeing the way. Original DeCarlo's Famous Pizza. Let's get the fight game. It's tray style. I gotta be honest. This costs $36. I'm not stereotyping. That is more than Rough and Rowdy tonight. That's crazy expensive. It's tray.
Buddy, you've got 2 large-ass pizzas, man. From a local, fancy restaurant. This isn't fucking Papa John's. 2 pizzas that exact size from Papa John's would probably cost you close to $30.
Tray, it's two style. I guess that we know what tray is. That's to feed like people probably in the mines. It feeds a lot of people. I don't think many people
in the mines.
But I did. One bite, everyone knows the rules. Weirdly, somebody recommended, they're like, hey, come into West. Oh, I thought you would say you lost me again. I thought you, somebody said you're coming to Wheeling, you got to try this. So here we go. Interesting style, tray style, coal miner style, World War II style. Put it in, feed as many.
Cafeteria style is the word you're talking about. And coal, what? Has nothing to do with coal. Like, it's more like, that's a cafeteria style pizza. So a lot of people really like have like the square pizzas that they were accustomed to when they were a kid. They're really into that. But like, dude.
As you can.
Well, I would hope that he bought pizza for his crew. But given the way he talks about them, I wonder.
Yo.
7-1 at best.
7-1 at best. At best. Is there anything better?
Nothing in Wheeling.
Nothing in Wheeling. Say anything better, goes no, nothing better.
By the way, Wheeling is where WVU is located. It's a college town. It's really cool.
It tastes kind of like a frozen pizza. They love me here in Wheeling. Man, people. I go 6'4". It feeds a lot. I don't think this is supposed to be like 5-star, carbone. They're supposed to buy it, feed a lot. Nobody's spending 36 on their own. Tonight, save your money. Not 36 here, 30 rough and rowdy. Either
Rough and rowdy, he says. Rough and rowdy. You know, he's got me hyped up. I want to watch a fight. Do you guys want to watch a fight? Yeah, I'm not a fan of thin crust myself. Do you guys want to watch a fight? Who's into UFC fighting here in my chat? Even if you're not into UFC fighting, I think you're going to be into this fight specifically. Apparently, Nick Fuentes sent a troll after a Jewish UFC fighter. His name is Nathan Levy. Nathan Levy, a UFC fighter out of Jiu-Jitsu. Nick Fuentes sent one of his trolls.
Told me he's coming to town. He's my sparring partner for today. Why were you talking shit about Jews? Lesson has to be taught here about trolling.
Also, why does the Nazi look like fucking Kyle Broflowski? This dude's talking shit about Jews?
Doesn't watch film on me. I have striking, I have power, I have the size.
Get him!
Oh, sorry, you finish it.
Thank you, Nathan, for this.
A few days ago, some wimp on Twitter posted a picture of his slim tricep. Said this is what every white nationalist should look like. This is what everybody who follows Nick Fuentes should look like.
He is also a Holocaust denier who advocate race war and, I kid you not, burning women alive in America.
Somebody tagged me and I commented, he built like a chopstick, definitely not a threat. Some guy jumped in the thread named Ben. And he said he's willing to come meet me to defend Nick Fuentes' honor and come spar with me. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, whatever, come, no problem. Bring the win from the picture too, and Dickless Fuentes. We can all meet. I'll Venmo you some.
Dickless Fuentes!
Talking shit online. To my surprise, he DM'd me, told me he's coming to town, and he would love to take me up on the offer. All of a sudden, it wasn't as mean-spirited as it was prior. It's all about respect. Respect, bro. You Ben?
Yep, nice to meet you.
Hi. He's my sparring partner for today.
You got no waiver?
Waiver is good. His sign, everything's good.
Ready to go.
Yeah, I saw one of his posts come across Twitter. It was like critical of somebody who associates himself with America first and the political values that I value.
We all know that Israel controls the right wing.
Oh, you're a piece of shit, dude.
We all know that they are not Christian. We all know they hate God.
As a defender of that, and as a former, martial arts experience trained person myself, I just thought it'd be fun to come spar.
Who's Nicholas Fuentes? Tell me.
So Nick Fuentes is the leader of America First.
I fucking hate women, like I just do. It's not a joke.
It's a political movement based on furthering Christian values in the United States.
We started talking on Twitter, right?
Yeah, no, I was just messing around. Yeah.
Oh, you were messing around?
Yeah.
Not Christian, fascist. I've read one and the same in America, but I've read the Bible and it's not the teachings of Jesus. It's a specific strand of American white nationalist.
And I'm not a hateful person. I love everybody,
Republican Jesus.
Ben in the gym. We got white pussy. Why were you talking shit about Jews? Why were you defending Nicholas Fuentes?
Well, I think because of what he says is right. I mean, you can layer that behind a mask.
He denies the Holocaust.
I think it's more revisionist. So, not all aspects of it.
Like what?
Whether it be numbers that might, have been different over the years. Just things
How much do you think people killed?
I wouldn't know off the top of my head.
He's explicitly praised Hitler.
You don't know?
I honestly don't know.
Can I give you a clue?
I mean, they say 6 million.
He says Jewish people should not be allowed to participate in the U.S. government.
The 6 million number, it puts more faces to the name. Because a lot of people know people who are Jewish.
There are faces to the names.
That is true, yes.
Basically, we're having something like Taliban rule in America, in a good way.
Nick Fuentes' honor is on the line. We talked enough. I think let's start sparring. That's what he came for. He drove all the way. Let's go to the cage. Cool.
But apparently my little brother here is gonna troll. I hate trolls. Just make sure after this you post the time, you post the DM. I want to see how honest we're being.
Well, it's all respect. It's all respect. Well, I'm
Total respect.
I am primarily a striker. I said I did karate, taekwondo, and mixed with it for 8 years.
Taekwondo.
I got my black belt. I've never done a 5-minute round before, but play UFC 4 a lot. That's awesome.
What's up, bud? Hey, how you doing? Are you sparring?
Yes, sir.
Okay, did you sign a waiver?
Yes, sir.
Oh, you did? Okay, perfect.
It's all good, Twitter isn't real life, but hey.
I love that they're like, did you sign a waiver? Did you sign a waiver? You are totally getting demolished.
We're in real life now, and, it'll be fun,
He's just a kid, probably a dumb kid. Not gonna hurt him too bad, but a lesson has to be taught here about trolling. Education is painful sometimes.
He hasn't watched film on me.
I love this guy.
It's a classic case of fuck around and find out.
Yes. Hey, he got a couple of strikes in. That's more than I thought he would. I mean, he didn't really connect anything.
Come on, buddy. Go, Ben. Yeah, Ben.
I'm tired.
What?
I'm tired.
Get him! Get him! Hey! Make him squeal! Make him squeal! No! Ah!
Take it!
Everything down the middle. That's it. Good time! Roll it under! Roll it under! Hey, you got 90 to turn. Oh.
Get that arm bar.
The crowd, all my teammates rooting for me.
Heavy on the body, Nathan. Do it again. Let's go, Ben. Come on, Ben. 40
His side is going to be bruised. He was laying those body shots in. Love it.
Come on.
Snicks.
Oh, sorry. Keep going. No sorry. Shut up. Sorry. What the fuck you mean sorry? Shut up.
What the fuck you mean sorry?
Get up. Oh, no. Oh, no. Come on, do that shit again, will you?
5 seconds, finish with me.
Oh. Big belly. Big belly. All right. One more round. Don't say dumb shit.
That's fucking man. Okay. He's a real deal. I knew he was a real deal coming in. 6 million Jews were killed in the Holocaust.
Murdered.
Murdered in the Holocaust.
Okay, that's good. Now, fuck Nick Fuentes.
Nick, I failed. I know you're not a striker or wrestler, but if you'd like to come, anytime,
You got a big mouth, though. He came in, he was like, oh, I'm not a hateful person. I was just trolling online. Like, okay, so you're not a neo-Nazi, but you're still a troll. One lesson in life, this
I
one
need to
wasn't
be
that
more
painful.
well-researched, that's true.
This one wasn't that painful.
This one was not that painful.
The next one will be twice as painful.
Hey, did I at least catch you with a couple good shots?
No.
No!
There's a couple of guys talking shit on Twitter about Jews. So we told them to come to spar and they showed up, and let's have fun.
I wanted to come down here, see what's up. Saw he gets his ass kicked, but that's fine. Everybody gotta learn.
And another one. And this dude wants to come defend the neo-Nazis that's already gotten his ass kicked.
I'm not defending Nick Fuentes, I'm defending my friend's honor.
Let's go, CJ.
Ooh.
Yeah, win it. Make it
Ooh.
Keep working the body. I got fucked up. I got my shit kicked out of me. Yeah. Pretty good though.
Broke his nose.
Didn't see it coming like the fucking fifth punch. But that was pretty fun. So, good experience.
Given this experience, do you think you got to maybe reevaluate your friendships with some people?
Maybe. You know, online friendships are online friendships.
I was enjoyed a lot. I like it. And don't talk shit about Jews, baby.
Nathan Levy from Jiu-Jitsu, Camp Jiu-Jitsu. Love it. That was a lot of fun. I guess we're going to keep it on sports, aren't we? I almost played Ben Shapiro talking about the myth of the white savior, but then I remembered we've got Ben Shapiro on Ben Shabargo, so embargo on Ben Shapiro. So no right-wing perspective on this one. Let's find out what the fuck is happening. Like, I knew jack shit about this story. I think we actually examined it as a white savior story in like a literature class or something I had in college, but I'd never even heard of the fucking movie. Or maybe it was some kind of film class I did in the broadcasting department. But The Blind Side, starring Sandra Bullock. Where's my meme? Blind Side 2, starring Sandra Bullock. Apparently, the young man who was adopted by this white family says that he was taken advantage of by them. Now asked to have a conservatorship ended.
Now to the latest in a feel-good Hollywood story that spun into a real-life scandal. The family depicted in the film The Blind Side is speaking up after former NFL player Michael Oher claims that they took advantage of him and made money off of his name. Jared Hill has a story from New York.
A bomb dropped on our clients.
Attorneys for Sean and Leanne Toohey say they were blindsided by a former NFL player Michael Oher, a man they took in when he was a teenager. In a petition filed Monday, Orr accused the Tuohys of tricking him into signing what he thought were adoption papers, or at least something like them. Instead, it was a conservatorship.
He wrote a book in 2011. He acknowledged that there was in fact a conservatorship.
The suit also claims the Tuohys used the conservatorship to profit from stories about Orr's life, including the Oscar-winning movie The Blind Side.
We want to know if you would like to become part of this family.
It took in more than $300 million, but according to the petition, Orr received no compensation for the film, quote, that would not have existed without him.
Yep.
Wednesday, the Tuohy's lawyer called the allegation absurd.
Each member of the family has...
Now, apparently, he did receive a royalty check for the book, but did not profit from the movie.
Received the same amount of money. We estimate each person received $100,000, each person in the family.
Including Mr. Orr.
Correct.
Including Mr. Orr.
Correct.
Orr has long been vocal about not liking how he was depicted in the film.
You know, The Blind Side, it was told, like I said, it was told by other people.
Now, the 37-year-old wants to end the conservatorship and get a full accounting of how much cash came in over the course of that agreement. Jared Hill, CBS News.
As well he should.
The family's lawyers say they do plan to file papers to end the conservatorship and call Orr's claims a shakedown.
A shakedown! How in the world, how in the fuck is that possible? This is a 37-year-old man that's still under a conservatorship? Are you shitting me? He went on a podcast and explained the things that the movie got wrong. So this is a little clip of that.
I think the biggest for me is, being portrayed not being able to read or write.
Yeah, it's being portrayed as dumb.
Your teammates don't think you can learn a playbook, that weighs heavy on someone. And I understand that the movie has given me a position. I'm honored to have the position it's given me, but you have to understand, before I moved in with the family, I was an All-American. That's what I want the generations behind me to see in this book right here, to understand that you don't have to have someone save you and rescue you to go out and be successful. You got every tool in you. And this book right here is a playbook on life. Looking yourself in the mirror when I was 11, 12-year-old kid, telling myself, hey, everyone around you is even in an even worse situation that you're in. So you're going to have to get up and do this thing yourself, and developing a routine right then when I could have given up at 11, 12-year-old.
Poor dude. But the thing that I really hate about this is the way the right-wing media is especially Jason Whitlock of The Blaze calling bullshit on this dude. Pisses me off. Later this week, we're going to be doing the Republican debate. That is on Fox News on Wednesday. We're going to be covering it on Wednesday night. One of the participants in the debate had a moment go viral. Apparently an exchange with an LGBTQ activist. I wonder if he raps during this. This is Vivek Ramaswamy, and apparently his name rhymes with cake. Nicole, welcome.
Brand new this morning, the first edition of the
Power
Rankings for
and don't even get me started on the way the right wing, Ben Shapiro had a whole fucking rant about Britney Spears, about it was proven right about Britney Spears. She needed to be in a conservatorship. Fuck all the way off.
for the Republican presidential primary, coming 1 week before the first GOP primary debate that will air here on Fox News. So here you can see former President Trump leads the pack by a wide margin for endorsements by elected officials. He's also the clear frontrunner in the overall power rankings. Join us now for a deeper dive. Jessica Tarlov, co-host of The Five, and Kayleigh McEnany, of course, a outnumbered. Great to have you both here.
Morning, ladies. Nice to see you.
So these are our first power rankings, and I think it shows you kind of what you would imagine.
I should have hit a content warning.
One, please. You can see here the MAGA base strong at 37%, but Kayleigh, speak to this. persuadable 37%, and a hard no for Trump 25%. So that adds up to quite a bit.
It does. It adds up to 62% who say we will entertain someone not Trump.
Yes, Ninja, apparently his debate plan is to suck Trump's ass and to attack Ramaswamy.
Which is a big number. No doubt Trump is far and away ahead, the front runner. But what's interesting to me is this becomes a game of math. So you have 62% who say we're willing to look elsewhere. Well, then it becomes, what are the Bergrams doing in the race? We'll see what Nikki Haley does. What is Nikki Haley doing in the race? Because this is directly, it's a zero-sum game. You're taking from Ron DeSantis or Tim Scott, the two contenders we have in the power rankings. And then you start to look at exits and think back to 2016. When we got to Iowa, we finished Iowa, there were still 9 candidates in the GOP primary. Finished South Carolina, there were 6, or 5, I should say. You go to Super Tuesday, there were 5 candidates in the race, an enormous chunk of delegates. And what do you see? Donald Trump with 255, Ted Cruz with 218. But guess what? Rubio with 96, Kasich with 21. So this becomes an issue of who can catch steam and then who will drop out to let someone catch steam and aggregate delegates.
What you point out that the game was over at that point.
It was over.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ted Cruz tried, but it was over.
Yes. For number 2, this is the New York Times, what they did about 3 weeks ago. Among those who are strong MAGA, the favorability rating for Donald Trump is 99%. And I don't care how many courtrooms you line up. For how
I've got a fucking gnat right here and I can't get it.
191 indictments if you like. That 99% is not going to change.
Don't threaten me with a good time so early in the morning, Bill. Yeah, well, that
What good time?
named after the man. Of course he's going to have 99% approval there. That makes complete sense. Obviously, the indictments are not hurting him in the primary writ large. But to what we were talking about with these persuadables, and I would take the 25% out of the persuadable category because they're not even considering him. Those a quarter of the base there, just not going for Donald
Is this like Republican Liz Lemon? What the fuck is going on?
Trump again, which is how Joe Biden was able to win in 2020. So you're looking at the middle there, the people who still like Trump but are looking to be persuaded. And what we're focusing on the Democratic side is how Ron DeSantis has really failed to be what he was billed as, that he was going to run away with this. He had all of the money, he had all of the enthusiasm. You even had Democrats talking about, he has a really good record in Florida. This is going to be tough to contend with. That's why I think Gavin Newsom has been focusing on him, saying, I want to debate you. I want to show up in Florida and talk about what's been going on. Feels like a real challenge.
He doesn't have a good record in Florida. That is like a national media bullshit narrative. His polls in Florida have gone down. He is not popular right now. And his policies in Florida are backfiring on him. Florida becoming one of the most expensive states to live in. Their inflation is out of control. The news out of Florida is not good right now.
Challenger there, but his money, he's still getting the money, but one of his biggest donors has said, unless you fix your positions, your extreme positions on abortion,
one thing,
I'm not going to keep giving you money.
We can't figure out, because we don't know this right now, but of those people, you wonder how many are converted into looking at Trump as a victim, in and out of a courtroom after a courtroom.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Well, he's not.
Anyway, we had a moment in Iowa over the weekend with Vivek Ramaswamy. We just want to play his answer. He was
Oh, she's a liberal?
an activist, and it went this way with.
So she is Liz Lemon.
I don't think that somebody who's religious should be forced to officiate a wedding that they disagree with. I don't think somebody.
When has that ever happened? When has anyone been like, you don't just go to a church and be like, we want to hire you to officiate our wedding? Like, that's never fucking happened. The people that officiate a wedding are like usually from your church or a friend you have that is ordained. Is there ever a case where anybody has been made to officiate a wedding? That sounds batshit to me.
And it went this way with a woman from the LGBTQ community.
I don't think that somebody who's religious should be forced to officiate a wedding that they disagree with. I don't think somebody who is a woman who's worked really hard for her achievements should be forced to compete against a biological man in a swim competition.
They don't.
I think that somebody who's a woman that respects her bodily autonomy and dignity should be forced to change clothes in a locker room with a man. That's not.
They don't.
So just so our viewers know, it went on for a while before and after that. And he thanked her and she thanked him, and they both said, thank you for being civil.
Yeah.
He's got a real opportunity next Wednesday night to introduce himself to millions of people, Kaylee.
He does. He is articulate. He is smart. He understands how to talk about these issues. That should be a model for anyone talking about this issue. He said,
Is Fox on the Vivek train?
But he reoriented the conversation to where it needs to be. We hear these terms like culture war and don't say gay bill and gender affirming care. But when you get down into the nuts and bolts, you can look at the Washington Post KFF poll. To the tune of 60 to 70%, Americans don't want sex taught in K through 3 education. Americans don't want biological men and women's sports. All of these issues are winning. But the moment you change the language and talk about them as anti-LGBTQ laws, all of a sudden.
But that's what they are. You are giving away the game. It's all about how the question is asked, eh? It's when you ask a rhetorically fallacious version of the issue, you get the response you want. When you change it and inform people what the law actually does, they're not actually for it. Makes sense.
Can be talked about the way Vivek does. You can win on these issues. Don't talk about them as culture wars. Talk about.
Wait, it is Vivek?
We might be able to win in Iowa on those issues, but Jessica.
So it does run with cake.
For them on this issue, and if you're going to be an
Ida,
that means you're definitely voting.
Absolutely, and I think enthusiasm.
Yes, there's never been a minister having to officiate a wedding, but like if you're the justice of the peace, or you're the county clerk, and you have to issue a marriage license. And that's called discrimination. The government cannot discriminate against somebody. I don't give a shit about your supposed fucking faith.
You know, we're in that lull where people are saying, I'm not interested in this, because we're already starting the presidential race, and it feels like we just had, right? It's the burnout. People will be juiced up to vote. And certainly if Donald Trump...
Yeah, it's you guys that are starting it so goddamn early.
It's going to be for those who love him and those who hate them. They're going to show up. Kaylee's right about reformatting the question as best as you can to be able to get your point of view across in a conciliatory way. That's what Democrats did with the gun control issue. We don't say gun control, we talk about gun reform. And that's how you now have 90% of Americans that want stricter background checks, for instance.
Interesting. Well, I love having you guys on the show. Thank you for coming on.
Great. Thank you.
We are just 1 week away from the
Very
first
excited.
debate.
Can't
So the
wait.
Fox News hosts this Republican.
I'm Steve Ducey.
Fuck you, Steve Ducey. The Fox debate coming up this Wednesday. If you're planning on driving to the debate, you might not want to take a Ford electric truck. Apparently, the Ford CEO took a road trip. Says it was a reality check. Congested chargers and long charge times were among the challenges the CEO, Jim Farley, faced on his journey. Now, I want to point out, if you've seen this story from right-wing outlets, they don't really frame it this way. Ducey is the Fox News Lester. ABC News has George Stephanopoulos. MSNBC has that goddamn, like, fucking jingle I don't like. Charging has been pretty challenging. So basically the right-wing media framed it as, the Ford CEO realized electric vehicles aren't practical, but that's not what he realized. What he realized was that we don't have the infrastructure for electric vehicles. There's no denying that Ford is proud of all the work that went into developing the F-150 Lightning. From Chief Engineer Linda Zhang's firsthand account of its development to CEO Jim Farley's tit-for-tat battle with Tesla CEO Elon Musk over the utility versus the Cybertruck, there's a lot to be said about Ford's emotional investment into electrifying America's best-selling pickup. Recently, Farley decided to take the Lightning on a road trip on Route 66. The idea was to take on a more rural route in the truck for real people who do real work. As it turns out, the CEO's experiment was a real eye-opener about how real people in the real world drive their pickups and what it would take to live with Ford's newest electrified product in a less populated area. This is Farley here.
Been pretty challenging. I stopped at one of the most popular charging sites in the country on the I-5 in Kalinga, a big Tesla supercharger network there, and I went to a low-speed charger. It took me about 40 minutes to get 40%, but it was a really good reality check. The challenges of what our customers go through and the importance of fast charging and what we're going to have to do to improve the charging experience. Charging has been pretty challenging.
Yep, that's it. It's not that the truck doesn't meet the moment. It's that the infrastructure for the truck doesn't meet the moment. And don't even get me started on the fact that Elon tried to use proprietary technology on the Tesla, where it wouldn't be like universal. You could go to any charging station and charge. And that just makes fucking shit way worse. You guys thirsty? You want a beer? What you guys drinking tonight? You drinking Bud? You drinking a Bud Light? That's what Kid Rock is drinking. I guess Kid Rock is no longer boycotting Bud Light. Fuck Bud Light, the singer proclaimed on social media just months ago. Not that we ever expect Kid Rock to be much of a stand-up guy. Reading from Consequence of Sound, not an actual news story. But we now have new photographic evidence that he's not always a man of his word. Just a few months after posting a video of himself decimating a case of Bud Light, let me play it for you, in case you don't remember.
Hi.
Oh, there's Dylan. Oh, where's Kid Rock at? What up, Bob?
Grandpa's feeling a little frisky today. Let me say something to all you and be as clear and concise as possible. Fuck Bud Light and fuck Anheuser-Busch. Have a terrific day.
Apparently he never stopped selling the beer in his bar, despite saying that. To catch you up to speed, Kid Rock got his panties in a wad back in April after Bud Light partnered with Dylan Mulvaney, a content creator and transgender woman. Just a couple of days later, and not even a week after a school shooting in his Nashville hometown left 6 people dead. Kid Rock really tried to stick it to the man by presumably purchasing a case of Bud Light, just so he could take a video of himself shooting them up on social media. Maybe Kid Rock has silently turned a new leaf and accepted that LGBTQ plus people exist and shouldn't sway his beer choices. We have video of him with a drag queen back in the day, which is kind of wild. Here is Kid Rock enjoying a Bud Light at his Nashville restaurant, I do believe. Nashville bar. There is Bob. Looks like they're all drinking Bud. Oh, no, not the couple to the left. They look like they might have a Coors. The couple on the right is drinking Bud. Clearly, you can see them right there. Clearly Bud cans. That song sounds like it sucks, but it's still better than anything Kid Rock ever produced. If you'll notice, most Kid Rock songs are like samples of other people's music. Kid Rock isn't very original. That one song was Warren Zevon. He took the beat from or the riff from Werewolves in London. what that one? The one is Metallica. Is it Sad But True? American Badass is Sad But True. Like all his songs are like that. And that one, that last one he had that went viral. We the People, fuck yeah, or whatever. I would like when we listen to it on stream, I'm like, I've heard this before, and it's a monster truck song. Kid Rock has no original thought in his little dumbass head. Speaking of dumb people, we've already got a little dose of anti-Semitism on the show tonight. Why not go full blown? Let's. Oh, I don't even know what she's saying now. Last time we played her on the show, it was very anti-Semitic. Here is Roseanne Barr.
Been called a Russian bot from like both sides. Remember in 2016, if you didn't like Hillary, they were like, "Are you working with Russia?" And you're like, I was like 24. I was like, "What?" I've never been there.
Yeah, Rob Reiner was saying it, and I was so fucking pissed at him for that. And so I cornered him in a restaurant in New York City because I'd had just about enough of his fat fucking lip. Because I helped him.
She is very pissed at Meathead.
Campaign for a thing to help children in education way back when I was a fat fucking drug addicted leftist. A hypocrite bastard.
Wow. I miss you being a fat fucking drug addicted leftist. I loved Roseanne. I hate to see your downfall, ma'am. Though I'm pretty sure you've always been a piece of shit. Just saying, it didn't seem like the people who worked on your show liked you very much. It also didn't seem like the CEO at Project Veritas liked the people she was working with very much. Tim Pool says that, and I don't, so there was a tweet that came out on Friday where someone accused the CEO of Project Veritas, the new CEO, you know, now that James O'Keefe has been ousted, of firing everyone. That tweet was deleted. I never followed up on it. I don't know what the fuck happened beyond seeing that tweet, but apparently there was some kerfuffle at the Project Veritas. Tim Pool is here to tell us what went on.
If you still worked at Project Veritas, I don't know, I got very little sympathy for you. They came after founder and leader James O'Keefe. They tried to strip him of everything he built. And there were people who were party to the knives in the back of James O'Keefe who signed a letter calling him out. So I just have to...
You know that he got ousted because he was wasting their fucking money on his fucking theater shit, right?
Say, I'm not calling out anyone individually because I don't know who, but to all the people who stabbed James in the back and have now lost their jobs, I don't know, Schadenfreude? Like, what? This is what you deserve. Did you think that this organization could survive without the man who built it and was doing the hard work and making the sacrifices to keep it up and running? These people firmly believed they were the ones doing
sacrifices.
Surprise, surprise, the moment you betray your leader, all the money's gone. They bring in a shark who then nukes you. Okay.
Yeah, it's been a wild year. Do you guys remember that coup at Project Veritas? The thing that stands out to me the most is that letter that was signed by like 16 employees. They had all these, they said that James is a tyrant. He does all these terrible things. They had all these examples. One was that...
And wasted fucking money.
This donor felt like, he hadn't been friendly to her or something. And then afterwards, that donor was like, that's not what happened. That's not it at all. Like,
yeah, he was like short with some woman. And then they were like, what are you talking about? James was perfectly polite.
It was totally fine.
He stole a woman's sandwich.
So,
oh, wow. Wow, I didn't know this, Now that Tim Pool brings us up, let's get this story out here. Project Veritas founder is under investigation. And the organization is in shambles. So James O'Keefe, who has spent more than a decade creating deceptive videos aimed at embarrassing liberals, is under investigation in New York following accusations that he misspent funds of the organization he founded. While the details of the investigation, first reported on by The Nation, are not yet public, they could relate to O'Keefe's alleged use of donor funds for personal luxuries, including charter flights and limo services. In February, O'Keefe stepped down from his role as chairman and CEO amid concerns from the board about spending and complaints from staff about his leadership. O'Keefe left the organization in shambles last month. Former board member Matthew Tyrand resigned and threatened to air dirt on O'Keefe, publicly calling him a lying sack of shit and a fucking scumbag. Now, let me be perfectly clear. I would assume all of them are lying sacks of shit and fucking scumbags. How else would you end up at Project Veritas? You know, when you, the program director at the first radio station I worked at, he had a saying, when you wallow in shit, you're gonna get it on you. O'Keefe has attempted to pin the blame for the company's irregular expenditures on Chief Financial Officer Tom O'Hara. O'Hara, according to the Nation's report, is the one feeding the Westchester County DA information on O'Keefe's misdeeds. One gets the sense, based on the Nation article, that these two men are litigating a personal feud. To top it off, the organization's new CEO, Hannah Giles, reportedly fired the entire staff last week, leaving only a skeleton crew of HR and a few fundraisers, according to Charlie Kirk. But don't expect the cultural impact of Project Veritas to disappear overnight. O'Keefe helped spread the notion that voter fraud was commonplace and easy to commit. People in several states are facing felony charges for their attempts to prove just that.
So this group of people that said we can do it without him thought they could also hold on to the donors who were paying for James O'Keefe, right?
That I mean, it was called Project Veritas, but it was James O'Keefe. Yeah. I mean, so the second he's gone.
Wait, whoa. This is Dancing with the Stars, the first press secretary for Trump. That's that dude, isn't it? Spicy Sean.
I mean, it was called Project
Sean Spicer, yeah.
I mean, so the second he's gone, what are you donating to? I mean, it was his investigative journalism and tactics that people were watching. He was the face of it.
It was his bullshit they were watching.
I just don't understand what they thought would happen. So, I mean, today, I know you said this, that, you know, according to the reporting, they were fired. They weren't fired. I mean, the bottom line is they ran out of money. I mean, I don't know the finances, but, like, let's stop kidding around. Once he left, it dried up, and at some point they said, we can't pay you anymore. Call it what you will.
Well, and why didn't they lead off with firing their development team? The development people are supposed to raise money.
I think they have money, but I think money's not coming in. Because if you look at their 990s, they had millions of dollars. And so what's probably happened is they probably looked at the finances and said,
I assume O'Keefe wasted all of them. We watched the fucking shit he did at CPAC. That was earlier this year. Come the fuck on, dude. That was like $1 million production. I watched Lady Gaga's stage show, and like it was comparable to that, man. And I know for a fact it cost Lady Gaga $500,000 to put it on.
We got no donors. We got a couple million in the bank. At this rate, we will be totally, you know, we'll be defunct, insolvent in 6 months. So they're like, okay, fire everybody now, and Veritas will function to some degree for a few years. But you know, the funny thing is, I do believe, and obviously the O'Keefe Media Group.
Media Group.
These people bought into a mission, okay? They wanted to see things exposed. Without the Project Veritas being any kind of an alternative.
And Sean Spicer, it fucking pisses me off that it's taken, what, are we up to like 15 years now for this asshole to be exposed? How was him breaking into Senator Landrieu's office not the end of this motherfucker? That was like 10 years ago, if not longer. How was that not the end of this motherfucker? How did he get, like, Republicans, man, right-wingers, you're all sleazy bastards.
Which
Right. Now, this is actually going to be a boon for him, I think, because they're going to go, okay,
Oh, yeah.
like, let's just go back to basics. I mean, maybe he stole someone's sandwich, but the bottom line is, but the point is, like, here's what we've invested in to begin with. Let's go back to the OG.
Yeah, I think the employees actually that are getting fired might actually go work for O'Keefe Media Group, and it's like,
No,
is he
they will.
Is he going to have a back?
They may want to go work for O'Keefe Media Group.
But James,
he's going to do his own little investigative journalism and be like, I have a video of you, a tweet from you, and an email from you, and you're not working for me.
It reminds me of Alexander the Great when he was on campaign. His men just got to the point where they were fed up. We're like, we're leaving, and he was like, fine, leave. So they all, he gave a speech, and he was like, get out, go home, tell him you left me here. And then a couple days went by, and the men like realized what they'd done, and they went back to Alexander and begged to be let back
because they were starving and lost. And
maybe he gave this rousing speech, and they all realized like what they would really be leaving. And
here's what
the
I
speech
think.
is pretty incredible. And so
I don't remember this story.
All my brothers.
This reminds me. This has a touch of an element of leftism, entitlement, arrogance. James O'Keefe starts this organization. He sacrifices. He gets raided by the feds. He gets sued.
Because they, I don't want to say stole. They came to be in possession of something they shouldn't have been in possession of that more than likely was stolen, that they were trying to launder, that had to do with the 2020 election, i.e. Ashley Biden's diary. And if you guys do not know, you have to be in right-wing spaces in order to know the accusations. Apparently, Ashley Biden wrote at some point in time in her diary that Joe showered with her. And then at another point in the diary wrote that she was molested by somebody in the family. They put two and two together, and they're like, Joe Biden's daughter got molested by Joe. See?
Come on, man.
And this was her personal diary. Now, the claim on the right was that it was left. Like she stayed in an Airbnb or something and the diary was left behind. But like fucking right-wingers aren't trustworthy. And they did their best to make that a thing during the election, and it never really caught on because it was very sleazy. But O'Keefe was the one who came to be in possession of it, and that's why he got raided by the feds.
Over and over again, he's the tip of the spear. He's the front face, the front man of this organization.
Never believe a guy when they say it's just the tip.
Kind of an interesting moment on CBS over the weekend when they were...
Oh, shut up. Shut up, Matt Walsh. Only time I want to hear Matt Walsh speak is when he's talking about how awesome I am.
JustinFREAKIN is a formidable voice in the culture.
All right, I'm going to try to answer these questions as we go along. But I may not get the chance to, depending on how it's edited here. We're going to go to PragerU. They're doing a man on the street thing where they're like trying to quiz people on their knowledge of government. Fucking shit. Let's see what we got here.
3 branches of government.
The executive, the legislative, and the judicial.
It's like Democrat, Republican, right? No, is that no?
What are the 2 parts of U.S. Congress?
Ah, shit. I didn't get a chance to pause it. Is the Senate and the House? These are too fucking easy. But also, like, if you're just finding somebody, most people, okay. So one of the things I have to explain to you about these man on the street things is like, this dude might actually know the 3 branches of government. But when you put him on the spot and stick a microphone in his face, he might very well freeze. That is a very common... I am media trained. And if someone was to stick a mic in my face like that, I would handle it well. Your average citizen is not going to be able to.
So it's like Democrat, Republican, right? No, is that no?
What are the 2 parts of U.S. Congress?
Oh, he used the math from the Scott Steiner.
But then you take my 75% chance of winning, and then add 66 and 2/3.
God damn, I think that might be the same.
141 and 2/3 chance of winning.
That might be the same stock footage I used.
I don't know. Who did we declare independence from?
Spain! No, it was those dirty Britons.
Spain?
No! Britons. It was the dirty British.
What's the longest river in America?
Is it the Mississippi? I don't even fucking know. It's the Mississippi, right?
I'm gonna go with a guess. Lake Michigan.
Lake Michigan?
It's a river. How old do you have to be president?
35.
I know it's in the 50s.
Pow!
What is the First Amendment?
Freedom of speech, government will not restrict religion, exercise thereof, yada, yada, yada. These are too fucking easy.
Oh, isn't that... Oh.
But once again, I have a degree in political philosophy. I've been doing this shit for years. So, but also these are kind of basic.
Do you know when the Declaration of Independence was signed?
Oh, it wasn't 1776. It was like fucking like 2 years later, wasn't it?
Like 1989.
No, it wasn't 1989. No, it was like 2 years before.
1897?
1776. What are the...
Was it 1776? I thought the Declaration of Independence was signed. I'm not good with dates. That fucks with, and that's one of those things where like, yeah, fucking years fuck with me. And I wanted to say that, and like I said 1776, but it's like, I wanted to say like it was signed, it was 1787? Thank you, that's what I thought that it was like off a year, so Prager, you didn't even know. I don't know how far we're gonna get through this, but since we're doing PragerU, I tried to watch this twice last week. The Continental Congress was 1787. It's hard to, like, all those things run together for me, right? It's the Constitution. It wasn't ratified until a couple years later. Dates suck. I'm bad with math. I'm bad with dates. I usually don't even know what day it is.
You take your 33 and a third chance minus my
And also, like,
25%
dates in
chance,
history
you got
are
an 8
probably,
and a
like,
third
the
chance of
least
winning.
important thing because you can always look that shit up. So, that is something I really wish they wouldn't, like, teach. Like, you should know around the time period, but, like, knowing the exact date. The Constitution was ratified in 1776? I don't. Once again, I have to go back and look at all this. I'll give you the rundown of all those dates tomorrow night. So, the CEO of Prager University apparently took issue with the Young Turks reporting on PragerU being accepted as curriculum in Florida schools. And they watched TYT's reporting on it and reacted to it in real time. So I'm going to react to her reacting to Young Turks reacting to PragerU.
Okay, folks, so given that the Young Turks decided to do a hit piece on us, and of course they didn't even bother contacting me about PragerU Kids, I'm just going to watch what they decided to report on us, and I'm going to react and actually share the truth with you.
Declaration 1776, Constitution 1787.
Groundbreaking announcement. PragerU is now making it into schools.
You just heard from the CEO over at PragerU, which of course is not an actual accredited educational institution.
I want to tell you why we're not an accredited institution, because accredited
you're
these days is
bullshit.
synonymous with controlled. And so if we actually get an accreditation, that would mean that we would be controlled.
It would mean that you would have to have a certain set of standards. Your curriculum would have to meet a certain set of standards. That's what accreditation would mean.
Controlled by political elites, the Department of Education, which is basically a sellout to the NEA and the AFD, the union bosses. And so we actually decided to have education freedom and have the freedom to teach so that we're not controlled. It's the only reason why we don't care about accreditation. Our presenters, our educators are probably more credible.
Or propagandists.
Find in most educational institutions.
That is bullshit.
Marissa Street argues that now Florida will allow PragerU materials to be utilized in their grade school curriculum. For now, that's only allowed in the state of Florida, but this is a dream for the conservatives over at PragerU and the wealthy donors that help to fund PragerU.
Yep.
Okay, so we are actually not funded by wealthy donors or billionaires.
Bullshit.
300,000 donors from all over the country, frankly, all over the world. And the average gift donation at PragerU is $45 to $50.
Oh, I'm sure you have done some shit. This is what Republican presidential candidates do. Like, send $1 and we'll send you this. And then you've got like all these like $1 donations, and that brings your average down.
$50. So we're actually funded by the public for the public.
And when you consider the ideological slant there, it is a problem, especially coming from the individuals who claim that they're concerned about indoctrination in public schools. But we'll get to the details on what the course materials could involve in just a moment. First, it's important to understand the scope of this.
The early funding for PragerU came from Dan and Ferris Wilks. They are hydraulic fracturing billionaires. Two members of the Wilks family sit on PragerU's board currently. The next largest donor is the Lynd and Harry Bradley Foundation. Other donors include the Morgan Family Foundation, Fidelity Charitable Gift Fund, Donors Trust, the late Republican mega donor Sheldon Adelson, Leroy Mitchell, and Minnesota-based Sid and Carol Verdum Foundation. So she just straight up fucking lied to us. I mean, she did that rhetorical trick there. Our average donation is $50. We're not funded by billionaires. No, you're absolutely funded by billionaires.
Project. PragerU is infamous for their online videos, and there's plenty of that in PragerU Kids as well. The PragerU Kids material can now...
I do not know why the audio for TYT is echoing. Your fucking multi-million-dollar organization over there can't get audio right.
Used in...
So wrong B-roll here. This is not PragerU Kids material, but... This was not PragerU Kids material.
Who gives a shit?
You might want to show it to your kids anyway.
Is Leo and Layla, and it's about
It's just stock footage they have of PragerU.
On how to deal with modern day problems. And as you can imagine, the modern day problems are often based on conservative culture war narratives and grievances.
Bullshit wokeism.
Up yours, woke.
But Jake, I mean, I was under the impression that
who.
conservatives didn't want indoctrination in public schools.
All of a sudden, when it's indoctrination from the right wing, they seem to be over.
They fucking love it.
So let me tell you why PragerU content is not indoctrination. No, we believe in providing a window into the classroom. This is why every piece of content we make is actually on PragerU.com. It's on our website. Parents, remember feeling like you're being gaslit where you are being gaslit. But when it comes to PragerU, if we provide content to teachers, we also provide it to parents so they can go and see and make choices with their schools as to what is appropriate for their classrooms. And so this is the difference between the indoctrination of the left. I'm going to give you a bunch of examples of what I call indoctrination. Here is 5th and 6th grade reading material, Rick and Melissa, about early sexualization of our kids. Melissa was born George, but apparently is transgender, and somehow Scholastic decided to give them an award because they think it's appropriate for 5th and 6th graders to read in school.
It is.
Do you know about this? Is this transparent? No, it's not transparent. Every single content that we make for PragerU again, is on our website. Here's another.
What, you think they can't fucking talk to the school board about the materials that are being used in schools? Bullshit.
Version of indoctrination. This is supposed to be math class, but the 1619 Project recommends that while teaching graphs and math, you actually use the calculation to distinguish how much reparations are owed to, I guess, descendants of African American slaves. This is what I call indoctrination.
So this is an example of one of the things that's very wrong with our education system is our schools were created to give people the skills to work in factories. So we compartmentalize everything. So that's why things are in math class, reading class, geography class. But in reality, in order to develop critical thinking skills, you need overlap. You need literature in your math class and working out these creative issues in order to give people a well-rounded education. And I don't know the exact, recommendation that the 1619 Project made. I guess this was in some kind of curriculum they put together. I had a right-winger tell me that the 1619 Project got the date wrong. I shit you not. And I was like, what do you mean got the date wrong? And they're like, it wasn't even the date. That tells you they're lying. I'm like, I don't know why they chose that date. Hold on, let me go find out. And it was the day like the first slave was sold in the US. And it's correct. Like there's a whole museum dedicated to like at the slave market. I had to look this up. Because I was like, well, why is it called the 1619 Project? And that's the reason why. So I'm like, I don't know how they could get the date wrong.
Indoctrination, because parents have no idea. There is the Black Lives Matter curriculum endorsed by USD.
What, Black Lives Matter curriculum? That's not a thing.
How many parents know that this is what's actually being implemented in our classrooms? What was the commentary on that? Do you know that the 1619 Project claims that white Americans have purposefully given sugar to African Americans in order to hurt and create a gap between whites and blacks? Analyze the way the sugar industry and other industries that grew as a result of slave labor have led to the wealth gap of African Americans in the U.S.
Whoa. The sugar industry and giving them that's two different things there. Oh my God.
What we call indoctrination. The fact that it's being snuck into our classroom.
So any mention of slavery or any mention that gay or trans people exist is indoctrination to you. Do you not see how ridiculous you sound?
And parents have no idea. There are no windows into our classrooms. There's only gaslighting.
First of all, I'm pretty sure most classrooms have windows. Second all, parent-teacher conferences, school board meetings. Those are you're saying there's no window, but parents engage with their students' schooling. It's a luxury too for parents who are able to afford to do it. But like there would be volunteers. Parents would come to our schools all the time and help out with the teachers and shit. And fucking have lunch with their kids in the cafeteria. Like what in the fuck are you talking about?
So what we believe here at PragerU is that parents deserve to know what is happening in schools.
They do.
In America. And that parents should get involved in their kids' education. And so if a teacher in a school choose to use the content that we make, and again, we are not heavy-handed about this, and none of the states that are working with us are heavy-handed about the material that we provide. We believe in resources and choices so that local communities can evaluate our curriculum and make the choice to either use our content or not use our content.
I've evaluated it and it's bullshit.
Parents the window into the classroom so that they can see what's being taught and that they can use the flip classroom method, which basically means that whatever it is that they're watching in school, they can also watch at home for extra reinforcement and extra discussions with the families at home.
So there's two different problems here. Number one, PragerU is funded completely by right-wing billionaires. So this is now a pipeline for some right-wing billionaires going, I'd like to indoctrinate the kids with my particular propaganda. So I'm going to pay Prager, and then Prager is going to get it into the schools. And that way we're going to brainwash the kids into horrible things. So PragerU Kids is apparently a little bit different than PragerU overall.
Right.
But PragerU does the worst videos. I'll just give you one example, and then we'll go back to PragerU Kids to give you a sense of what this organization is about. They did a video celebrating and praising Robert E. Lee, saying his statue shouldn't be taken down. And in the video, they explained, oh, because Robert E. Lee, one of the upsides of him was that he put down a slave rebellion and killed everyone who was rebelling.
Okay, so I'm
going to point out what neither of them pointed out, and that Robert E. Lee was actually asked what he thought about Confederate monuments, and he said, don't do that. That will just add to the strife the country faces. So even Robert E. Lee was against fucking monuments to himself, and he knew the exact reason why. Smart man.
going to be completely honest and transparent with you, because that's what most media companies do not do. But at PragerU, we believe in transparency. And so a few years ago, when we started growing PragerU, we started using some independent contractors, and someone wrote a script for us on Robert E. Lee, and it made it into our system. By the time we recognized that this video was out, we immediately took it down. We took action, we removed it. Go to PragerU.com, go on our website, go on our app. You will not be able to find this video.
Oh, so you agree you put out some bullshit. But I just want to point that out, because like not a lot of people know that. And I'm sure I got the quote wrong. This was Robert E. Lee's direct quote. As regards the erection of such a monument as is contemplated, my conviction is that however grateful it would be to the feelings of the South, the attempt in the present condition of the country would have the effect of retarding instead of accelerating its accomplishment, and of continuing, if not adding to, the difficulties under which the Southern people labor. All I think that can be done now, or can now be done, is to aid our noble and generous women in their efforts to protect the graves and mark the last resting places of those who have fallen, and wait for better times. Robert E. Lee was a pretty smart man now, wasn't he? And finally, his wishes were honored, and that statue of him isn't there anymore.
Because we really couldn't stand by that content. And you should know.
But good on you for taking it down.
Like ours that make 40 pieces of content every single week, we'll have situations where there are things that we don't like. And so we have a team that reviews things, but sometimes things get, wiggled in, but then they fall between the cracks. And that's what happened with that particular video.
Because you're trying to churn out nonsense.
Constantly. As soon as we were aware of it, we took it down. And this is just another one of...
As soon as you were aware of the video that you were the ones to produce to begin with. That makes no fucking sense to me. It's not like I put up a video on my YouTube and I'm like, oh, well, now that I've been made aware of the mistake.
Examples where companies that are trying to really slander us are still holding on to a video that we took down. Really, Chank? You couldn't find anything in 3 years that's still on our website that you can condemn, and so you had to go to a video that was up for...
Oh, I can go to just like your most recent video. Jose did a video essay on Tim Pool's stupid ass video that just went up not that long ago.
Less than a month that is gone, that we took off, that we announced that is not the right fit for us, because there's nothing else for you to attack us on. And so you have to attack us on something that is non-existent. It is non-existent, and it was never part of PragerU Kids. It is also currently not part of PragerU.
Considering what we just shared with you all in regard to Florida's updated education standards and how they want to point to alleged silver linings when it came to slavery, it's clear here what they're doing, right? Like there's revisionism, clearly revisionist history involved here. And look, I don't want...
Clearly.
Can we teach kids how to read?
I completely agree. We should teach kids how to read. And by the way, we should not provide revisionist history in our schools. Nothing about what PragerU makes is revisionist history.
Bullshit.
Slavery was a horrible blemish in American history. It was a horrible thing.
Now, I will say that. That is something that I have, and this was back at the very beginning of PragerU. Because I've used this on right-wingers so many times. Because, man, fucking right-wingers are like, the Civil War wasn't about slavery. And, you know, they fucking follow the PragerU and everything. But my God, like, this professor is an actual good professor. That's why this is good information in the video.
Was the American Civil War fought because of slavery? More than 150 years later, this remains a controversial question. Why? Because many people don't want to believe that the citizens of the southern states were willing to fight and die to preserve a morally repugnant institution. There has to be another reason, we are told. Well, there isn't. The evidence is clear and overwhelming. Slavery was, by a wide margin, the single most important cause of the Civil War for both sides.
But this was in 2015. It still had some semblance of trying to actually educate people. And this was Colonel Ty Sigel of the, he's the head of the Department of History at West Point. So of course he knows his shit. He's actually qualified to speak on this subject, and he was correct. So I will give them props on that one video.
It was, you know, disgusting, and thank God America has pulled out of it. We have made so much progress since then, and that's what we teach our kids, is that these kinds of things should never happen again. We are the ones who are teaching that MLK was right, that we should judge people based on
Whoa! Well, why don't you tell, if you think that MLK was right, why don't you talk about his political beliefs? There's a list of people going around online, like Helen Keller, Einstein, all these people. You don't actually learn about their political beliefs. Why is that? Why do you only want to say you judge somebody on the content of their character? Why do you never want to bring up that MLK was anti-capitalist? You don't want to bring that up, do you?
And so this idea that we are not teaching American history or that we're not teaching slavery is just an absolute lie. And you know,
you're right. Tones, that's exactly right. That's the video, the Dixiecrats video. That's the bullshit. I have one about like the party's not flipping.
Find out the truth? Go to PragerU.com and you can see that we have plenty of videos on the subject of the horrors of slavery.
Okay, we have a very real problem in the country right now where a huge portion of grade school kids can't read. Part of it is because the education system for a number of years moved away from the phonics way of teaching kids how to.
Guess who has been controlling the education system for years and has moved away from teaching phonics? We are the ones who are saying that we need to go back to core.
What? What are you talking about? Here is the debunking the party switch myth. This is in 2018. You can see how far they've fallen in just 3 years.
Number 2, Southern Democrats, angry with the Civil Rights Act of 1964, switched parties. Fact, of the 21 Democratic senators who opposed the Civil Rights Act, just one became a Republican. The other 20 continued.
Yes, it took some time. There's a reason why, and she's only mentioning the senators at the time. Switching parties is a hard deal. It's the younger generation that came up. There's a reason why Kay Ivey, the current governor of Alabama now, was a Democrat when she started, and she's a Republican now. It's leaving out the whole story. You're focusing on one tiny aspect. You're cherry picking. You're cherry picking your data in order to make your point.
Knowledge and teach through phonics. They're the ones who believe in, you know, all these other silly progressive education tools that actually don't work. They're the ones who believe in reducing the standards and not actually having ways to evaluate student and teacher productivity because supposedly evaluations are racist or something.
Exactly, Ninja.
I kind of agree. I feel like we should have a conversation here.
Part of it has to do with...
But it's just, it's like, it took some time. Like, I grew up in Pikeville, Kentucky during, you know, I became an adult during the Bush administration, right? And I'm doing news in Pikeville. I'm working for a news station, and I'm working for a radio station. All of the politicians are Democrats. They have a D out from their name. But they're George W. Bush supporters on the national level. They vote for Mitch McConnell. But locally they have D because these things are like entrenched and they take a while to change.
With the coronavirus pandemic and how people had to, you know, resort to teaching online, and kids had to learn when they were home, and that was really, really difficult for them to do. Can we just stop politicizing public school education and focus on the basics here?
Yes, I
How about a
completely
personal
agree.
finance class in high schools?
A personal finance class in high school. I completely agree. This is why we launched Cash.
No, I want fucking philosophy in high school. I don't understand this personal finance thing. They're like, that's one of the things they always throw out. It's like, oh, they don't teach you how to do your taxes. Schools don't teach you how to do basic math and put things in boxes. To look at one form and write in a box in another form. Seriously? That's pretty much all school does. No, I want a fucking philosophy class. I think you should start 6th grade and start teaching Aristotelian logic. I think by the time you get to your senior year of high school, you should have had some fucking hardcore Descartes, goddamn stuck yourself in a state of unknowing, and realized you think therefore you are, motherfuckers. Start debating the existence of God and shit.
Of course, our FinLit module, which by the way is the first module that is adopted in most of the schools that Florida is working with us on, teaching financial literacy to our kids. I actually really think that she would really enjoy our products if she actually took the time to look at what we make. There is no politics in our Cash Course videos.
The first form of income is hourly, which represents more than half of U.S. workers, including jobs in retail, construction, and even, order up, even hot dog flipping.
Reality, these kids should be learning the basics so they can, you know, survive and do well in life.
Agree.
Another part of the video celebrated Robert E. Lee for
he's
saying,
just obsessed
look,
over this Robert
slavery
E.
is
Lee
a
thing.
moral
It's like
sin,
he's
but
never been on the
remember,
Privy
blacks
website.
are inferior, and I think they can get educated, but of course they shouldn't be allowed to vote.
I can't do it. We're only halfway through this. I'm done. Gotta cut it off. Time for animal videos. I got multiple. Don't head out. I got multiple. I told you it was an all bullshit show. You had to sit through bullshit so you get several animal videos. Some of these we've seen before. I've got a couple that are new. These are some of my favorites that we've shown. Here's a cow and his best friend, a duck. They're going to go down. They're going to go swimming. Milkshake and dumpling.
Get in the water without dumpling.
Milkshake and dumpling.
Go swimming. You just have to wait for your cow, huh?
Your cow, the duck and the cow. They're best friends.
Two peas in a pod. Y'all are such a sweet love story. Milkshake will not leave.
Oh, dumpling's cute.
Attached at the hip. He swim circles around him. No besties.
Yes, that cow is so it's so furry. I want to pet it. Adorable.
Y'all going swimming?
Dustin, good evening.
Milkshake, you can get in the water without dumpling.
I hope you guys have enjoyed the Oops All Bullshit show.
You just have to wait for your cow, huh? Okay.
We got a big week ahead of us, so I figured everybody needed this.
Just 2 peas in a pod.
No shootings, no cop death. We got to see a neo-Nazi get beat up, though. That was a lot of fun.
Milkshake will not leave dumpling side.
Or at least I think he's a neo-Nazi. If you're a supporter of Nick Fuentes, how are you not a neo-Nazi? He tried to talk about how he loved everybody and he has respect for everybody, but you're a fan of Nick Fuentes.
So sweet.
Dickless friend of... Trump said when shown a photograph, "That's my wife." He also accused Carol of alleging he raped her in order to promote a really... God, this is old. This is one of my videos. One of my videos auto-played. Is Facebook suggesting my videos to me now? He said, "I will..." Huh. Maybe I'm breaking into the algorithm. Here is a cow and a cat. Cows apparently really like other animals. 2 cows and I think that one cow wants to eat it. Cow on the left wants to eat that cat. Oh, you know what? I want to find that video of that monkey that wanted to eat that baby. We gotta watch that one again. That might quite possibly be my favorite animal video we've ever watched. Huh, how do I search to find this? Can I've got so many saved videos, it's gonna take me forever. That is zoo, and there's it's like a 2-year-old kid. And he's in front of a gorilla, and it is clear that gorilla wants to fucking eat him. He is very upset that he can't get to. And the kid's just looking at the camera and smiling and everything. That fucking gorilla is upset it can't get through the glass. It is one of my favorite videos I've ever seen. Puppy Bus is also always a winner. I'll be able to find it. Ooh, this one's good too. Since we did some fighting in this show, let's watch some wrestling. Let's watch some cat wrestling. Here's some kittens going at it in a WWE ring. It's gonna drive me nuts if I can't find that video. The gorilla wanted to eat that kid. A lot of these old videos I've saved aren't available right now. They've been taken down. I hope the gorilla wanting to eat the kid wasn't one of them. I'm going to try to have it for tomorrow. I really want the gorilla eating the kid. They're trying to eat the kid. Remember when we did Rambo Dog? It was like an insane pack of coyotes. It was like 30 or something. And the Rambo Dog went and like destroyed those coyotes. Now they fucked the dog up. There was like carcasses. There's a girl playing with a gorilla, but this isn't the one. The gorilla's being friendly with her. I've got this video saved multiple times. So many animal videos. I'll have to do some digging to see if I can find that. Gorilla wanting to eat the kid. Here is a raccoon going to Dunkin' for a donut.
What in the world? My dude. He wants some Dunkin' Donuts. Don't hit him. Don't hit him. What is he doing? Are they gonna give him a donut? Are they gonna give him a donut? Oh my god. Do it. Throw him the donut.
Not even gonna throw it to him.
Oh my god.
Just handed it to him.
Oh my god. What in the world? My dude. He wants some Dunkin' Donuts. Don't hit him. Don't hit him. What is he doing? Are they gonna give him a donut? Are they gonna give him a donut? Oh my god. Do it. Throw him the donut. Oh, look at him waiting. Oh my god. Oh my god.
I'm glad he got him a little treat. Here's your fresh one. I got a fresh animal video for you. Got a couple of bear cubs playing. Adorable. Go ahead, light one up, tip one back. It's all right to have a little fun before you hit the sack. I'm JustinFREAKIN. We'll see you tomorrow night. Oh, by the way, I've got something incredibly special planned for Thursday. I never mentioned it. Went the whole show and did not even mention it. I forgot. So I'll leave you with this as soon as I can fucking find the promo for it. On Thursday night, Chris the Skis will be on the show. My stalker. He's been up my ass since it was my birthday back in May. This motherfucker has been stalking me. I will give you the backstory on everything that happened. This motherfucker. Thursday night, he's going to be here with us in the flesh. Go ahead, light one up, tip one back. It's all right to have a little. Dustin, you snuck in here on me. Good night.